How I turned pressure at work into growth in 3 steps. Pressure at work can truly feel overwhelming, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for growth. A few years ago, I was in a phase of high pressure in the tech industry. And in this video, I would like to share with you the 3 priorities I set back then to stay grounded, positive, and deliver results. Let's get started. A few years ago, I was confronted with intense revenue pressure in a work atmosphere that became more and more tense. Nothing was said out loud, but for the first time in my career, I knew that my job was at risk. It was sobering, and it did not feel comfortable. But at the same time, I loved the job, and I didn't want to walk away. I was 100% committed to give my best. But at the same time, I knew I had to be mindful of my health. I didn't want to push myself into burnout. That's when I decided to focus on 3 priorities: my health, my mindset, and growth. So the first thing that I did is talking to a friend from outside of the company. And looking back, this was one of my most important decisions. It was super valuable to share the situation with someone and not to make out alone everything. And in addition to that, it's always helpful to hear an outside perspective on such a situation. And apart from that, I decided to be super honest with my self-assessment in terms of health, but also in terms of the work that I was doing. And energy-wise, I decided to focus on the low-hanging fruits, which are unspectacular but very, very impactful, such as making sure that I had 7 to 8 hours of sleep, taking hourly breaks. I started going to the gym 2-3 times a week. And I also decided to keep my hobby on the agenda, on my weekly agenda, which is dancing, which was to me a source of joy, crucial to recharge and to switch off from the work environment. I still practice these routines today, so they are my robust energy foundation. But the most important takeaway, if things get intense, don't isolate. Put your health, your energy first. And the second point is mindset. And the reason why I prioritize mindset was that it was absolutely clear to me that staying positive, cultivate positive thoughts was absolutely crucial for me, also in an energy context. I knew negative thoughts or starting a blame game or something like that would do the contrary of what I wanted. I wanted to charge myself with positive energy and also with positive thoughts. So I thought a moment about what would be a thought that helps me shift from pressure or problem to a positive direction. And I wrote down 2 thoughts. The first thought that I wrote down, and I pinned it to the board here, was the situation is what it is. This is an opportunity for growth. And the second thought that I wrote down was, I can figure it out. And I choose these 2 thoughts because to me, they were true. They were important. I wanted to cultivate them and I wanted to direct myself into a positive direction. A thought alone, however, does not change anything. Of course, we have to take action. But before talking about growth, the takeaway in the context of mindset is write down 1 empowering thought that you want to think that gives you courage, that gives you power and energy, something that really resonates with you, and act from there. So my third priority was growth, and I got clear about my goals. They were pretty demanding, and I decided to align my actions accordingly. And I did them in a very simple, but in a very impactful way. I decided to more consciously than ever to do a weekly planning, a weekly advanced planning. So I checked my goals and I decided week by week what are the 2 or 3 most important outcomes I want to achieve by next Friday. And in addition to that, I decided every morning what are the 2 or 3 needle movers I would execute today to make these weekly goals happen. But my formula was quite simple. I knew if I consistently focus on high impact activities, on the so-called needle movers, and point them to the most important outcomes I wanted to achieve. The results will follow. And this simple approach helped me to shift away from problem to growth. And how did the story end? On the one hand, my effort was recognized. I achieved 8 out of 10 goals approximately. But a few months later, there was a global restructuring program and my role was eliminated. My personal takeaway is this: we cannot always choose the path we are walking on, but we can always choose the direction we are heading to. And to me, it meant I'm gonna start my own business. And that's why I'm talking to you here right now in that context. But today, I'm happy to share the lessons and best practices I have learned in these more than 2 decades in the tech industry and as a certified high-performance coach. If you want to go deeper into mindset, I recommend you this video here. And otherwise, I wish you all the best. I thank you for being here, and I look forward to see you again.